64 years old from Vallejo, California, founder of the original Giron and Escrima group out of Vallejo, California. My father is Grandmaster Giron, who started the Bahalarna system. Her first club was originally named Giron and Escrima, and then it took off from there. This was he started his club back in the late 60s, and I started training with him in the early 70s after I got out of the United States Air Force, and been doing it ever since in the name of my father to continue his legacy and to promote the system. I learned the system from my father, Grandmaster Giron, and I was born in 1911. Learned it as a child, and it's because of the bullies in the neighborhood that my grandfather decided that he needed to learn something. So my father had 5 instructors during his learning age of Escrima, and then later on came to the United States, and then finally got into World War II, where he actually used it in battle. The system, he came out in the late 60s in the United States to start teaching the system because of an incident that happened, and I think it was in Chicago. I could be wrong, but 8 nurses were killed, and he could not understand how 8 people could not subdue 1 person. And it just something clicked in him, and he had to figure out how to show these people, other people, how to defend themselves. So it began. The system phrase is Bahalarna. It's an expression. It's what my dad used because to pay homage to his comrades in World War II. And Bahalarna, translated from Filipino to English, means come what may. Or some people translate it as it's in God's hands. And that was the battle cry that they used during World War II. Aside from that, I don't think Dad thought the system was going to be as big as it was, but I think timing was everything. He was part of the first Filipino Martial Arts Academy we called the Nest, Stockton, California, and excuse me, the students at the time that were learning were Guro Dan Inosanto, Grandmaster Richard Bustillo, Rene Latosa, just to name a few, were the students actually doing workstations going around to different instructors, which were Max Sarmiento, Grandmaster Angel Cabalas, Gilbert Tenio, and this was how it all started here in the United States. So the idea, from what I understood, was it's to promote and expand the art here in the United States, and that's how it got started. And then later on, my dad branched off and started his own club in the late 60s after that, and it just took off from there. Some people ask me when I started martial arts. Officially, it was in 1972, 1973. I didn't know my dad knew this bladed art until I was 19 years old. But what I found out later, after growing up and looking deeper into what he was teaching all along my younger years, he was planting these seeds. Certain techniques, certain movements, certain attitudes, how you talk to people respectfully, and don't be aggressive or abrasive, because all it does is entertain bad times, war, fights, whatever. Understanding that nobody wins in a fight, nobody wins in war. So the idea is to, as long as you have attained the craft and the deep knowledge of the craft, you really have no need to fight. But you're very, very aware of what you have to do if you have to do it. Unfortunately, that doesn't come about. So we just maintain our lives, make everybody happy, shake hands and smile. Because, as I've stated before, that back in my dad's days, there's so many different styles. they would call it stealing. But today we call it sharing. I had to make a decision on whether I should take this system that my dad has given the world. And I knew that it wasn't going to be an easy one, and I knew if I did make the commitment, it would have to be 110%. Option wasn't a failure. It was very, very hard to train with your father, who was also your grandmaster. There was the classes, the normal classes, and then if he didn't like something or wanted to experiment with something, then we'd have the private classes upstairs, and they were quite brutal, you know. But what I think I learned deeply about this system that my dad created is when you first meet somebody, you shake their hands, and then you become escrimadors. So what that says is you were friends before you became warriors. Okay, the system is more than swinging a stick. There's a philosophy behind it about being the better person, taking the higher road, just being bigger than the other person, not egotistically. It's smartly, but not abrasive. And it's about getting along. Okay, if we all get along, I don't even know if martial arts would be around. So this system is been around a while. It's gone all over the world. Notoriety is unbelievable. The hardest thing for me is I continue, not the hardest thing, but what I continue to do is maintain the legacy of what my dad has given the world, as well as given to me and my brother. And that's hard in a sense because people look at me as if I'm my father, like my father. Those shoes can never be filled. Okay, so I have to make my own persona per se of who I am in reflection of my father and what he's given the world. So it's a tough road, but I think it's coming around. What I really enjoy about this art is I would have never met so many friends if it wasn't for this martial arts, and of course with the notoriety of my dad and what he's given the world. So I just hope everybody enjoys it. These systems and styles, everybody tends to separate styles and systems, methods, and techniques. If you look deeper into this art, there was two styles back then. There was the old style, the kadaanan, and the newer style at the time, which is a kabar one. Okay, if you really look at all the systems and styles, they're all part of the old style of kadaanan. So if they all came from the same root, then they're actually the same with a different spin or flavor. Okay, as we say, it's still adobo. Okay, so by people trying to make themselves not necessarily elite, but to differentiate from the different systems and styles because of lineage or whoever they learned it from, that's great. But keep in mind, it all came from the same root. And once we understand that, I think we'll all get on. Hi, I'm Grandmaster Michael Giron, and this is my brother, Guro Thomas Giron. We're going to show you, for starters, how to use a dagger. Most people tend to pull a blade. We're going to show you that you can do just as much damage as pushing a blade. Okay, so he will come with an angle one. Okay, stop. If you push, you take the tendons, hit the carotid, hit the brachial. So again, from here, you push, take this, then take this. Okay? The trick, the deal with this is everybody wants to stab and hit the trophy. They want to hit the mark. But this amount of space is not going to be wasted by using this. So he comes in, instead of going here, I'm going to take something on the way in, and then take something on the way out. Okay? If he comes backhand too, I'll take here, take his tendons, here, push, take the throat, take this one here. Okay, and he comes three, over here, take this tendon here, hit the liver, take the tricep out. Inside. From the 3 again here, so take here, cut the tendon, hit the liver, take out here. Okay? It comes 4 here, here, here. Here, turn the blade here. Okay? 4 again here, and here, here. Boom, take this neck out here. Take this artery out here. He shoots 5 here, stay here, parry here, got tendon, hit the liver, out here. Okay? So if he comes low, he decides to come low in the 9, take here, here, here. Take the femoral, come out here. Okay? All this is a short sword. Comes in here, you go here, push, here, hit the neck here. Okay? He comes to here, here, cut here, cut here. Cut here, cut here, cut here. Here, here, cut, cut here. Here, here, outside, here, or you can go inside, here. Okay, now if you're not going to use what we call the sonkiti, the poke, then we'll use the cutting. With a regular stick. So using the largo mano system, okay, foremost 1, here. Okay, here comes 2, here. Comes 3, comes 4, comes 5. Now, using a real longer blade, you don't have to get close because you have too much gauging. If he wants to come in, he's going to have to pay the price. Okay, so he comes 1 here, right here. Okay, comes 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. This is a replica of my father's blade that he used in World War II. It's called a toranasa. Okay, most of the Japanese would figure that he would have to do a complete draw to pull out this weapon. But because of their ingenuity and their creativity, it becomes this, because it comes out the side. So it saved my dad on many excursions during World War II. So this is what made me here today. Thank you very much.
Okay, my name is Thomas Lyle Giron. I'm the son of Leo Giron. Started taking Escrima when I was 15 years old. I decided to take Escrima to learn self-defense, self-protection. Basically, now I'm teaching, I'm an instructor. Basically, it feels like the torch has been passed on to me to be like a student of the art, just passing it on to other generations, younger individuals, people who want to learn how to protect themselves. Escrima is very interesting because it has a lot to offer. It's good to learn about your culture, stuff like that. And my father, Leo Giron, came to the Philippines at the age of 15. He had 5 instructors. Basically started his first club in Tracy, California. He moved to Stockton to be closer to the family. He started his club at 2120 South San Joaquin Street. That was when Bahala Martial Arts was created. The phrase Bahala is a battle cry that was used by the 1st and 2nd Filipino Regiment when they fought the enemy. There were various students that passed through Bahala Martial Arts Club number 1. I don't want to mention all their names, but there were a lot. Yeah, there's so many stories about my father. I want to tell you about one. I remember when he told me about when the submarine he got into the rubber raft and he went ashore to go back to the Philippines under MacArthur's leadership. He was telling me that there was so much equipment in the life raft that they had to offload it into the ocean because it was too heavy and he wouldn't be able to make it to shore. Yeah, there was a lot of stories that he would tell me. I remember when my dad was an elderly man, he would have a lot of nightmares, a lot of dreams about being in the jungle, tell me a lot about basic training, about signaling, Morse code. He basically brought me through his basic training overnight. Sitting up late at night talking to him about his experiences in the past in the military, kind of in hand-to-hand engagements that he encountered. A lot of them were on trails, foot trails, and he would tell me that machine guns were used in the daytime and bowler knives at night, in the swift darkness, peace and quiet. That's it. Now that I'm a graduate and certified instructor in the Giron system, oh man, learning to become an instructor in the arts of in the martial arts field, there's so much to offer, so much to learn, so many people you meet, so many things you have to remember, so many things to keep in mind. There is so much to offer, I can't even begin to explain my experiences. Patience, a lot of patience is what I'm experiencing and learning that it takes to teach people. Everybody wants the quick fix. Nobody don't want to put the time in. Everybody wants the shortcut. Everybody thinks there's a secret to what we do. There is a secret. It's called commitment. And it's the ones that usually get it are the ones that are in for the long haul, because there's no short road to what we learn, and there's no short road to what we do. Once you begin your journey, it never ends. So it basically starts, in my understanding, with the physical, and you end up with the mental and the spiritual. So that's just what my interpretation is. It could be wrong, could be right, could be different, but that's just the way I see it. So my dad, being the son of a Grandmaster, expectations are high, very, very high. Once my father seen you reach a level, he expected you to keep that level. He did not want you to slouch down. He didn't want you to lower yourself. Respect was the utmost number one thing that you had for yourself, your students, your instructor, the area, your club, people you met, people you knew, people you didn't like. You always had to have a degree of respect to where, rather than speak your mind, sometimes it's best just to keep your comments to yourself, because your mouth is like a gun. Sometimes you can fire away and it can get you in trouble. So I'll just go ahead and leave it at that. Thank you.